What if you could actually quantify an entire decade of your life? I don't just mean the big moments, I mean every single hour. Well, we're about to dive into a personal project that did exactly that, turning 10 years of just living into pure data, all for one reason: to build a more examined, more balanced life. So let's start with a question that's kind of going to blow your mind. Where did the last 87,000 hours of your life go? I mean, think about that. That's roughly a decade. It's a staggering amount of time, and if you're like most of us, you probably have, well, no real clue where it all went. It just sort of vanishes, right?
Well, believe it or not, one person set out to answer that exact question. And they did it through a meticulous, decade-long effort. From 2016 all the way to 2025, they tracked nearly every hour of their life. And what they ended up with is a personal data set unlike anything you've ever seen.
This whole thing is called personometry. And the goal was deceptively simple: create a personal dashboard for life, a tool that lets you see exactly where all your hours are going so you can use that knowledge to maybe, just maybe, find a better balance.
Now, this didn't start with some fancy, custom-built app. Not at all. The whole journey began really humbly, just manually plugging data into spreadsheets and using a simple time-tracking tool called Harvest. But over the years, that simple setup morphed into this incredibly powerful system for making sense of it all.
So, you've got 87,000 hours of raw data. Where do you even begin? Well, the first, and honestly most critical step, was to create a blueprint for life, a system to categorize every single one of those hours.
And the solution was pretty brilliant: create personas. You can see them right here. These are basically the distinct roles that make up a life. Every single hour that was logged got assigned to one of these buckets, from the obvious ones like professional work and family time, all the way down to the absolute non-negotiable life constraint of sleep.
And once that mapping was in place, boom, the big picture just snaps right into focus. Over the entire decade, about a third of all time was spent sleeping. Okay, no big surprise there. But check out the next two: professional work and family time, each taking up nearly a quarter of the total. Those three personas alone, they account for almost 80% of this person's entire decade. Wild.
But simple charts like that can only tell you so much. To really get to the deep, meaningful insights, the project had to evolve beyond off-the-shelf tools. It was time to build a custom machine for personal analytics.
This timeline really shows you how the technology grew right alongside the questions being asked. It went from basic spreadsheets to business intelligence tools like QuickSight, then into some early experiments with AI like ChatGPT, and finally, it all culminated in a dedicated, custom-built application.
Okay, this is where it gets really, really powerful. The first custom AI engine built for this project is called the Inspector, and its job isn't to predict the future. Nope, it's to act like a detective, to conduct a forensic analysis of the past and pinpoint the exact moments when life went off the rails.
And here's the key thing to understand. The inspector isn't just looking for one random long workday. It's hunting for behavioral anomalies. That means patterns that break from your own normal routines. Think of it like a personalized alarm system for burnout, neglect, or just feeling out of balance.
So how in the world does it work? Well, it uses this super clever statistical method. First, it learns the normal rhythm of your life. It separates out your long-term trends, like, say, your career ramping up, and your weekly patterns, working Monday to Friday. Whatever's left over, that's the noise, the stuff that can't be explained by your normal routine. And that's what the inspector scans, looking for spikes that are truly unusual for you. And here's what that looks like in the real world. The inspector flags things like sleep deprivation streaks, or when you're consistently working too much on the weekends. But get this, look at that first one, an impossible day with over 35 hours logged. Wait, what? How is that even possible? It sounds like a bug, right? But it's not. See, if you log an activity like sleep that crosses midnight, a single day can technically have more than 24 hours of log time. The AI actually analyzed all the historical data, saw this could legitimately happen for up to 34 hours, and so it learned to set the impossible red flag at 35. How cool is that? Okay, so finding problems in the past is one thing, but that's only half the battle, right? The project's ambition grew, and that led to a second AI engine. And this one wasn't designed to analyze the past, but to prescribe the future. It's all about creating an automated plan for your future self.
The difference between the two AIs is pretty stark when you put them side by side. The inspector is the detective. It looks backward and asks, what went wrong? But the automator, that's the planner. It looks forward and asks, okay, what should I do next? It's really the difference between an autopsy and a wellness plan.
To pull this off, the automator uses a technique called goal programming. The easiest way to think about it is this. It knows the hard rules, like there are only 24 hours in a day, but it also tries to satisfy your softer goals, like I really want to spend more time with my family. It then crunches all the numbers to find the best and, most importantly, achievable balance between all those competing demands on your time.
So, when you step back and look at the whole thing, what's the big takeaway? This entire personometry project is so much more than just charts and data points. It's a blueprint. It's living proof of how our own personal data can help us understand ourselves on a deeper level and hopefully live more intentionally.
The creator's vision for this whole thing is actually really simple and powerful. They want it to be like a personal life coach that lives right in your pocket, using your own history to guide you toward a better future.
And that brings us right back to the beginning. This whole incredible journey started with a single question. So we'll end by leaving you with one of your own. If you had a perfect record of the last 10 years of your life, if you could ask that data absolutely anything, what would you ask?